I grew up in a time warp. There's no question about it. My dad had an incredible vinyl collection, so I would just go through all the vinyl records and sit there and just put them all on and get sort of carried away by them, you know, and taken to this different sort of realm and comforted by them. Guitar playing to me is like endless possibilities. When I first picked up the guitar when I was like 6 years old, it just felt like it was magical. You know, you could create any sound out of it. And, you know, after I saw Jimi Hendrix and when I heard Santana play and all the different sounds they created and how like it was really healing for me at a really young age because I was pretty shy as a kid. So like holding a guitar gave me a lot of confidence and it made me feel like, I don't know, I could express myself a certain way. And when you find your own like fingerprint, right, after listening to tons of records and then you step away from them and just sit with the guitar by yourself, you kind of feel like you find your own sound and then you're able to express yourself that way. Guitar playing to me is kind of pretty much everything. When I first picked up the guitar, my dad taught me like 3 chords, right? So it was like A, E, and D. And you can write so many songs, you know, with those chord progressions. And so I would just start writing songs. It was kind of a journey of just like discovering where I wanted to go with the guitar. Enrolling into university, like TAFE University in Australia, where you study classical when I was 10 years old for like 2 years, right? And then from there, I played in an orchestra pit with Oklahoma. And I was like the youngest member, and you'll be sight reading and playing, and there was actors up on the stage and dust falling into the pit and all of that. But it was such a learning experience. And then to 14, opening for Steve Vai at Heaven nightclub in Adelaide. Then 16, opening for ZZ Top around Australia. You know what I mean? And I just was obsessed with guitar, locked myself away in my room for about 6 or 7 hours, maybe more. I actually purposely get in trouble, so I get sent to my room. So I could just play my guitar for longer. I would do things that were just not right. So go to your room. I'm like, perfect. You know, great. Yeah, I dropped out of school when I was 15 years old. You know, it just didn't feel right to me. And like I was playing in like 3 or 4 different cover bands and earning quite a bit of money and just having so much fun, you know, learning songs. I felt that was my calling. And so I did some homeschooling, but dropped out of school because of the hours. You know, you're playing until 2 or 3 a.m., pretending I was older than what I was. That's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And I knew it. You know, I knew that was my calling. I started playing Ernie Ball strings on tour, I remember in 2010. You play so many different types of strings, right? And different techs come in and they set up your guitars differently and whatnot. But I remember saying to my tech, I really dig these strings because they just have a lot of flexibility, a lot of grip to them. They just have a certain situation to them where they keep their brightness, the bendability of them. I mean, I abuse my guitars. If anyone has seen my shows or whatnot, I really like to bend the crap out of the strings. And they stay in tune and everything. They just kind of like, they don't break as much, which to me is everything because I'm always, like before I was always breaking strings. And when my techs put on the Ernie Balls, they stayed. So yeah, that's why I love them. One NAMM show up in Anaheim, I jammed with Santana. Dave Navarro was there, a bunch of people were there, and there was an A&R guy called Tao Hertzberg, and he was in the audience, and he worked with Ron Fair and Jimmy Iovine. So he was watching the show, came up to me afterwards, gave him the CD. And he's like, I really think you have something. Let me take this record to my boss and see what happens. I waited a year, you know. So he sent me an email saying, I love it. We'll see what happens. I waited a year. That year was really hard, you know, really, because I didn't know it was going to happen. Went back home and I don't know, I was kind of losing my mind a bit, and it was actually a pretty funny, weird story. But I had a lot of animals in Australia, like a mini farm, and we had this rabbit that my sister rescued, and it sounds strange, but this happened. It's a true story. And the rabbit bit the phone cord, like, of our phone. So we didn't have a phone for a while, right? So no one could call us or anything. This freaking rabid, sort of crazy feral rabbit, you know, it's called Gaston, just bit the phone cord. And Interscope were trying to call me, but I got the deal, right? I didn't know for like 3 or 4 days. We finally got the phone call fixed, and I think I got an email or something saying, we're trying to reach you, you know. We're like, I'm so sorry, but the rabbit bit the phone cord. They're like, where do you live? I got a deal and went over and then met with Ron Fair, and I went to Jimmy Iovine's home and played in his basement through his like kids' like speakers with a backing tape, and he was sitting on a beanbag and they were having a party. People were dressed as dinosaurs. It's really weird. But after that, I got a deal. That's a true story. I don't think I've made my best record yet. I don't think I will until I'm like 80 and I'm about to die. So I feel like I could always do better. I could always be a better guitar player, better writer, better singer, performer. And I'm obsessed with that. Music has brought me such comfort, and it's something that is really magical. So it's one of those powerful forms of magic, and it's definitely like going to church, but it brings people together. You know, I feel that I'm at service to people, because when you get messages like, oh, your song helped me, your song saved my life, you know, some of those really dramatic messages you get where your song came on the radio, like Courage, a song I wrote a long time ago, saved my life, or according to you made me feel empowered. I was going through a breakup. That was like the breakup song. Empowering people and inspiring people and all of that, that's what music's about, and bringing people together, and there's no divide. That's it for me.